Welcome to Armchair Safari, the daily live stream where I find a piece of design online and we try to learn from it to become better designers. Today is going to be a really quick one because I have a bad cold. I feel freaking terrible, and this is fever design reviews. So enjoy that. Anyway, today we're going to be trying to look at this wonderful little thing. So this is by Dima at Dima Lepokin. Dima Lepokin? I have no clue how to pronounce that, but Dima, thank you so much for sharing this awesome design with us. I think they're developing a mental health app for teens. Nope, this is just some exploration work, I guess. Anyway, these are components for a mental health app, according to Dima's post. And when we look into it, how do we look at design? We try to look at what's good about it, what's bad about it, and what can we learn from it. If you have anything you want to add, there's a chat around here somewhere. Other than that, I'm just going to jump right into it. So first off, I think it looks awesome. It gives me like this really pleasant, calm vibe. Maybe it's a little bit hospitalized, maybe a little bit too clinical with these colors, but it still gives me a really pleasant vibe. So what's good about this? Well, first off, the visual hierarchy is absolutely fantastic in all of the cards, I think. Actually, maybe now I take that back. Let's come back to visual hierarchy. The use of color is super nice. The consistency between the different types of information is super, super nice. Absolutely love how he's using very slight variations on super common shapes to get this kind of new vibe and really interesting visual brand to it. What I mean is, for instance, this this calendar component both has a separate like background card for the actual calendar, which the other things we don't actually does kind of come through here. All right, so never mind that. But the purple thingies, they aren't circles. They're these little gears almost. And like by itself, that would be gimmicky, but since it comes through in every one of these, it's really awesome. So on this one, it's a stack of cards that you can swipe right and left. Also by itself, it wouldn't be surprising, but together with this one, starting to see a trend here. And then here we have like a bar chart that has been split in two instead of having one consistent line, but with a gradient texture to it or a color banding texture to it. So now we're like really seeing that the main graphical element is sort of playful in each one of these, which is really cool. This one, I don't think it has like quite that type of detail, but using the card background as a gradient blue and then taking that back in with a timer, I think still makes sort of the same visual aspect to it. He's been playing around with all of the visuals, and they're all playful, calm, and in this very light coloring to it. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Love the fact that while these are cards, and like, of course, we got to follow the tradition of the bento grid, right? Because that's what everybody does right now. The graphics inside them makes sense. Like, there's a very good reason why these things are showing up as cards. So they're more like widgets for a mental health app, which makes a lot of sense. I really, really like that. Also, really love the fact that inside the graphics, the colors of the text is never black. It's always the same hue or a similar hue to the element it's in. It's just much, much, much darker, so it almost looks black. Love that because it also like sustains a bit the experience of the color without bombarding you with unnecessary contrast. It creates this calm vibe to it, which is really nice. Really like the use of icons here. They're quite expressive and not too many of them. Most of it is still text. Really like that. Okay. So that's some of the good stuff. So what's bad about this? Well, let's come back to the visual hierarchy. The headline labels on these cards is just way too strong. On this stack of cards, it just comes across as the most important thing. Insights is the most important thing, even though you're supposed to read this like once, maybe. Same thing is true on the calendar. The productivity peaks is just super aggressively strong. So that's a little bit too aggressive. And the gray tone on these grayish cards is actually a bit weak. So you probably can't read this unless you're on like a Mac screen and in perfect light. Don't know what this is supposed to be about. Of course, there could be some compression errors as well because this is on X. So, shouldn't always take contrast as a given. We don't know what he was going for here. Maybe Dima went through this really, really well with the context he was in. We don't know. But from this, it looks like the contrast is a little bit too low, especially as compared to these labels that are just way too strong. Another thing that we can think about here is like, what do you actually mean about with productivity peaks and what is the team wellness pulse? This is probably just an exploration for the app or might be related to things that exist in the app. So we don't see the full context, which is completely fine. But the fact that we have a graphical representation in something that looks like a widget and you can't actually really tell, like, what is it supposed to be, is a little bit worrisome. Could be context we lack, but then again, why is it a widget? Why is it in a bento grid? If there should be context outside this box, why is it a widget? Like if it's supposed to be self-contained in a card, the context should be inside, in my opinion. The shape of them actually don't. It's pretty much all we can learn from this. It looks really, really, really nice. Some things that are odd choices that we could probably be more deliberate about if we were redoing this today. Those odd choices could also be an example of a context that we are not aware of. So, you know, but yeah, this is the data stream where we look at a piece of design that I find online and we go through it and we try to learn from it. And my internet connection is crapping out, so I'm going to leave it at this and go take some cold meds and go to bed.